Hey guys, I'm currently freaking out right now because I just found out that I was accepted into the program. Unfortunately, due to everything going on with the coronavirus, they didn't do calls, I just got an email. And the program will actually start in January instead of August, which sucks, but I'm just so freaking out right now.
Just kidding. The program actually got canceled, so that was all for nothing, and
Hey guys, my name is Samantha, but most people call me Sammy. And this year I did the virtual version of CBYX. If you don't know what CBYX is, I'm not really sure how you got here, but congrats. CBYX is a foreign exchange program that is sponsored by the State Department and the Bundestag. And it sends 250 American students to Germany. And it's like completely covered, paid for by the government, and the Bundestag in Germany sends a certain number of German students to the US. I applied for last year, the 2020 to 2021 program, and I was accepted. I found out in April of 2020. When we first found out, they said that we would do the fall semester virtual and then we would leave for Germany in January. Unfortunately, because of all the craziness in COVID, we didn't get to go in January and ended up being virtual all year. This was really disappointing because obviously foreign exchange is doing, like living in a new country and everything. So the fact that we didn't get to do that was kind of disappointing, and it kind of I don't know, defeated the purpose of a virtual a study abroad program, I guess. But I did the virtual program all year, and so I thought I would share my experience with it and what I did. Oh, by the way, I'm filming this video in my car because my house is really loud, and I would have filmed it outside, but it's really windy out, and so the car was the next best option. Also, the lighting in here is way better than the lighting in my room. When they first announced that the program was going to be virtual all year, they sent out this survey saying, giving us, I think it was 5 or 6 options, and we had to choose at least 3. The 3 things I chose were interacting with my host family, interacting with German peers and having German pen pals, and then the third thing was language certification or some certifications. Why does that sound wrong? Sorry, I don't know why that sounds so weird. German language certificate. I clearly cannot say that word, so we just had to take German language classes, so yeah. Okay. Sorry. Got my host family almost a week after I submitted my secondary application back in, I think it was May. And since we still thought we were going to Germany in January, I would have just lived with them from January to June. But I emailed them almost immediately after I found out. And when they turned it to virtual all year, when that was an option, was to keep speaking with them and emailing them. So I've been emailing them for almost a year now. We also sent packages. They sent me a Christmas and a birthday package, and I sent them a Christmas and Easter package, and then they said they're sending an Easter postcard. It has not arrived yet because shipping is so slow sometimes, but I'm waiting for that to come in any day now. And that's been really fun, honestly. I love seeing their pictures. I had 2 little host siblings, a host brother and a host sister, who are in pre-K and 1st grade. They're really cute. My host family doesn't know any English, so we've kind of been translating through Google Translate, and sometimes the translations are a little rough, but it's readable and you can understand what they're trying to say, so it's been really fun. Yeah. So the second thing I chose was having a German pen pal and interacting with my German peers. And the way that they did that was they had a Zoom meeting at 1 in the afternoon my time, which is 6 or something in German time. And we all joined the Zoom. It was about 200 kids, I think. And then from those 200 kids, they kept putting us in little small groups. It was about 1 American to 3 Germans. and we would just talk about whatever. They'd give us like prompts, and then we'd start with that and talk, and they did that for like an hour, I think, and they encouraged us to get like their contact information and their social media. So I have talked to Clara, shout out to Clara, she's watching this, through WhatsApp, and then Laura and Helen through Snapchat, and then there's a couple other people who like follow me on who we follow each other on like Instagram and Snapchat. The people I like regularly talk to are like Clara, Lara, and Laura, sorry, whoa, and Helen, and that's been a lot of fun. Honestly, probably one of my favorite parts of the program. I'm definitely glad I chose that option because I've enjoyed it a lot. Yeah. And the third option was the language courses. So I have never taken German before, ever. I have no previous German experience, and they set up these classes. If your school like didn't offer it, or if you didn't want to like take like private classes, they paid for, I have no idea how to say this, so I'm gonna like butcher it completely. It's like Goth Joe, I don't even know, it's spelled like this, and the something institute in New York. We've taken online classes through that. If there's one thing I haven't liked about the virtual program, it's that I absolutely hate the classes. Personally, I just don't learn like that, and the class, like, it's just it's very time consuming, and especially the first semester we had 2 virtual classes a week and then a bunch of online work. It was like 6 hours of online work, and it was a lot. It was just a lot. I just, and I don't learn like that, so I felt like I was kind of like doing them for nothing. Can I do anything with German now? I can introduce myself. I can do that. I could say, hello, ich bin Samantha, ich bin 16 Jahre alt. No, 17 Jahre alt. Do I speak well? No. Could I go to Germany and live in Germany? No. Could I keep up in a German conversation? Absolutely not. But the classes, actually, the first semester, I hated everything about the classes except for the fact that it was all, like, CBYX kids. So I met Chloe. I don't think Chloe would be watching this, but if she is, hello. She was really sweet, and a bunch of other girls that were doing CBYX. After they announced that it was going to be virtual all year, I think a lot of people dropped the class because it went from, like, 13 kids to 4. Because it was just a lot of work. And I'm taking them again. I have to take another one, actually. I'm taking A2 starting April 13th. And I absolutely just don't like the classes. It's just a lot of work. I don't know how to say it. I feel like I'm not learning, so I feel like it's just kind of like useless. But it's fine. Other than that, it's fine. Then there was one other aspect of the program that was like everyone had to do, and they were called Civic education sessions. You got to pick, there were different ones about once a month. So there was one where they talked about like the environment and like going green and how they compared like Germany and the US. They talked about, like the government, they compared governments. There was one where it was like a 3-hour session where we were like pretended to be diplomats, and they gave us this like situation, we acted it out. I think I need to clarify that they didn't let us choose which sessions we wanted to do because we had to do all of them. We just got to choose, they give us like 3 different dates that certain session was available, and we got to choose our like the best availability of those 3 dates that they gave us. Those I actually enjoyed them. I think they were fun. They were educational, but not like educational to where like you would like boring. They were like interactive, so that made them fun. It was really fun like meeting everybody else in the program because it was the Germans and the Americans, and they would like put us into breakout rooms and we'd talk about certain parts. So like that was really fun. The only thing I didn't really like about that was the fact that they were like, it was, for me, my time, zone, it was 1 p.m. on Saturdays or like noon on Saturdays. And it was just kind of inconvenient because, you know, like I work and I have other extracurriculars. And so like scheduling my whole life around like, oh, I can't work that weekend because I have this thing at noon. Like that was the only thing. It was just kind of inconvenient, but it wasn't that hard to figure out. So those are fun. Overall, I would probably rate the program like a 7 out of 10, just because it definitely wasn't what I was expecting. It wasn't bad. I didn't hate it. Would I do it again? Probably not. At least, I mean, if you applied to the program and this is your first time and you hadn't done the virtual thing before, I would do it. It's fun. It's time consuming. It's frustrating sometimes, but overall I feel like I learned from it and I've enjoyed everybody I've met through the program. Like I said, the only thing I really didn't like was the German classes, and sometimes it was just frustrating in general, just trying to like schedule everything around it. And they really try to be flexible with you, but like, I don't know, it was frustrating for me sometimes because, you know, I have a life. I'm a high school student. I'm taking high school classes. I'm also taking a couple of dual enrollment classes, which are like college classes. And then I do a ton of extracurriculars on the side. So like planning everything and like working things out ahead of time and just making sure that everything would fit in my schedule. That was the only like hard part. I think I actually reapplied for the program, and I think if it's virtual again, I won't do it. If it's in person, I'm so excited. I actually accepted it. I wrote an email today saying I accepted the 2021-2022 scholarship. So if it's in person, I'll be going. If you're watching this and you got accepted into the virtual program, or if you got accepted into the regular CBYX program, I encourage you to do it, even if it is the virtual one. I've heard a lot of other people who did the virtual program saying, like complaining about it, because it's just not what we were expecting, and it's been frustrating. But I think if you haven't done the virtual program and it is virtual this year, you should do it, because it is an experience and you meet so many cool people, and I feel like you can learn so much and you can still be an alumni. So yeah, anyways, that's my experience with the program. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next video. Tschüss.